One of the biggest glaring holes for the Miami Dolphins is clearly the safety room, especially behind Dante Trader Jr. So, when the Miami Dolphins selected Michael Taaffe out of Texas with the 158th pick, what were they getting? Is he going to be just a special teamer? Is he a guy who can make plays impactfully as a rookie? Well, we're going to break down the all 22 and show you exactly what he brings to the Miami Dolphins defense. So keep it locked in. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. And as always, let's get into this. In the fifth round, and with the 158th pick of the 2026 NFL draft, the Miami Dolphins drafted one of the more intelligent safeties of this year's class when they selected Michael Taaffe out of the University of Texas. Taaffe has come a long way since being a zero-star recruit out of high school, as he became a full-time starter for Texas in 2024, and that led to him earning second-team All-American honors in 2024, followed by him being named first-team All-SEC in 2025, along with the All-State Werfel Trophy, which is given out to the NCAA FBS player who best combines exemplary community service with athletic and academic achievement. No surprise Taaffe won that award. He's widely regarded as a leader on and off the field, a player teammates generally connect with and willingly follow into battle. He's also close with Dolphins quarterback Quinn Ewers and Longhorns quarterback Arch Manning. 2025 first-round pick Jahdae Barron even called Taaffe the smartest player I've ever touched grass with, while Barron and 2025 second-round pick Andrew Makuba have both credited much of their success to Taaffe's leadership. Needless to say, the Dolphins landed an exceptionally intelligent, high-character leader with a late day 3 pick. Michael Taaffe falls in the range of an above-average to good athlete, as seen by his testing at the Combine, where he fell into the 78th percentile overall. His 4.5 flat 40 is a good testing number and more than adequate enough for a safety that's 5'11 and 3/4, 190 pounds, while his 4.15 shuttle and 6.83 cone are also very good testing numbers, and they line up with what shows up on tape. He's decisive, processes quickly, and can drive downhill or mirror routes underneath. Overall, Taaffe's athletic profile fits the type of player who wins more with instincts, football IQ, and anticipation rather than with elite physical traits. It's no coincidence, then, that those three things are some of Taaffe's biggest strengths. You see his high-end instincts and football IQ shine with his pre-snap and post-snap recognition, processing ability to diagnose route concepts, how he times his breaks on the ball well, really understands spacing and zone, and knows how to let a quarterback's eyes guide him to the throwing lane. His high level of anticipation allows him to play faster despite not having an elite 40 time. Taaffe regularly got his teammates aligned pre-snap too, showing not only his understanding of these defensive concepts, but just how much other players rely on him to be a cog of the Texas defense. I think Taaffe also thrives as a zone defender much more than he does in man. He's at his best when the action is happening out in front of him. He takes really good angles, passes off receivers well, and he creates plays on the ball more consistently in zone because he's so good at reading a quarterback's eyes and diagnosing routes like I had previously mentioned. Taaffe also offers a ton of versatility in terms of how he can be deployed defensively, with him being comfortable as a free safety, split safety, strong safety, nickel slot defender, and down in the box. He's displayed some upside as a blitzer, while he's also a very good run defender. He's aggressive coming downhill, loves to lay the boom, really cleaned up his tackling in 2025, only missing about 9.3% of his tackles, willingly takes on blocks even as he's outmatched size-wise, and he takes pretty good pursuit angles, like I'd mentioned previously, the majority of the time. Where he'll contribute almost immediately is as a special teams player. He had over 800 special team snaps in his career at Texas, and he blocked a punt on, which when you can add that to the resume, people are going to love that, right? So as we know, the best way for a day 3 pick or UDFA to crack a 53-man roster coming out of camp in the preseason is by making plays on special teams. So Taaffe's weakness starts with his size and athletic limitations. Listen, he isn't explosive or twitchy, doesn't have top-end speed or quick recovery speed, and he's not someone you consider rangy. His size, length, and play strength are also kind of underwhelming for an NFL safety, as his short arms also limit his tackling radius. Bigger blockers can easily overpower him, giving him issues trying to disengage, And listen, he's not a player you want matched up consistently with tight ends. I think his athletic limitations also show up in man coverage as he struggles to mirror quick, twitchy receivers. Legitimate vertical threats can give him problems, and because of this, he tends to get grabby due to lacking the necessary recovery speed to catch up if he's beaten early in the matchup. I also think he's best suited for split safety looks or down in the box as opposed to being left on the perch as a single high safety and a defense's last resort. That's not to say he can't do it, because he certainly can. I just wouldn't have him up there consistently 80-90% of the time by himself. I mentioned earlier how Taaffe cleaned up his tackling in 2025 because in 2024 his missed tackle rate ballooned to 21.3%. He tends to compromise his technique when he becomes over aggressive, looking for the big hit instead of wrapping up, he ends up over pursuing and whiffing on a tackle in space. Listen, with Dante Trader being the only safety in Miami with real expectations surrounding him heading into the season, the competition at the position is wide open with Lonnie Johnson Jr., UDFA edition Lewis Moore, special teamer Zane Anderson, 2025 UFL interceptions leader Major Burns, and Michael Taaffe, all jockeying for position. Taaffe is going to have to make noise early on in special teams, and with every defensive rep he's given at camp and in the preseason to separate himself from the pack, he's going to have games early on in the preseason like he did against Florida right here. He was dominant in this game. He was absolutely fantastic. And you see the range and you see the pick, and I love it. So let's go ahead and let's hop into the film to see what Michael Taaffe is bringing to Miami and exactly how he can stand out in a safety room that desperately needs immediate help. So Taaffe's football IQ shines through just how instinctual he plays the safety position, from taking good angles in pursuit or to undercutting a throw to reading a quarterback's eyes like it's his favorite story, his route recognition and understanding of route concepts, etc. He's one of those players who has a natural feel for the game, which is also why you see other defenders constantly relying on him pre-snap to ID, diagnose, and dictate to them what's coming, where to line up, and so forth. So let's go back to 2024 and this play against Texas A&M and watch Taaffe here, okay? He's going to rotate to cover one pre-snap as a lone single man on the perch after Texas gives an initial cover two look pre-snap out of the huddle you can see right here. And watch Taaffe. He's just going to read Marcel Reed's eyes, and he's going to turn and open his hips to the far side based off reading his eyes. Watch. So we got the motion, and here comes the snap, and watch. Marcel's now at the top of his drop. He's going to step up, and look at the hips open right away. Right away, he sees where the eyes are. He sees the one-on-one matchup. I already see it, and he IDs, okay, you've got a guy open across the field. Now, is this going to be a cross or is this going to be a post, right? So he's seeing, following the eyes, following the action, and look at this. Right away, he puts himself in an advantageous position, right? So Marcel Reed's going to flush to his right there, and, Taaffe reads that deep post, and boom. Taaffe just had to read that deep post coming across his face to that side where his hips are already opened up, and, he starts cheating over top to that side, and boom. Reed puts the ball in the air. Taaffe takes a fantastic angle to undercut the route, comes away with the INT. I love it. Keeps the feet in. I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, you look at this. I mean, Taaffe just did the little things right. He anticipated where the play was headed, which is what his hips tell you, and he made a big play on the football from the perch, where many have their doubts about him being left by himself out there, right? So, big play. So let's go back to that Florida game, right? And you can see Taaffe as a single high option once more, directing traffic throughout the secondary, right? And he knows exactly what's coming out of Florida's trips bunch formation. And he even points it out. Watch, he's even going to point it out. He's pointing it out. He's telling them it's coming to this side. And watch this. Legway takes a snap here. He's going to throw the screen, and look at Taaffe trigger. One man misses, but Michael Taaffe does not. He anticipated exactly what was coming, and there's all that space to that side if Taaffe doesn't make the play, but he's as reliable as the sun coming up in the morning and going down in the evening when it comes to tackling here, and you love to see it. Now, as a run defender, Taaffe is a very willing and capable run defender who can get into the backfield, whether he's in the box pre-snap or high up on the perch. His instincts and IQ play a factor into this aspect of his game, as they allow him to read and react by triggering downhill quickly. You constantly see him filling gaps, kicking ass, and taking names. No bubblegum required, right? So, big players make big plays in big games. I say it all the time. Let's go back to the 2024 season's SEC championship between Texas and Georgia. And watch this. Michael Taaffe is going to rotate down as the weak side linebacker right there. You see him rotating down here, right? Sorry, the weak side box defender, not linebacker. Let's call him the weak side box defender on this one. And watch the play in run defense here. He's going to crash down and fill the B gap. And watch the right guard. I mean, watch what's going to happen right here, okay? Watch this. Right guard gets off. Look at it. He's got one hand on Taaffe. And here comes the running back to that side. But look at Taaffe's going to fight him off, gets one hand on the running back, and drives him back for the big stop. Look at that. These are the type of high effort, big finish plays you like to see from your safeties playing down in the box. And that anticipation plays a role again as he saw it the whole way and was just ready to fill that correct gap. Look at that. Big play. Come on. Fired up. So in this game against Kentucky from 2025, watch here as Michael Taaffe is once again going to walk down and become a second level defender. All right, he's going to become a box defender once more right here. And this time after Kentucky's motion. And, once again, he's going to make a big splash play in the B gap. And Taaffe is going to read the handoff the whole way. And watch, he's going to have a clear path through the gap. And he makes no mistake about wrapping up the ball carrier and finishing the job just behind the line of scrimmage. You'll notice once again, pre-snap, he's directing the defense. It's one thing to be vocal. It's another thing to constantly back it up with a play like Taaffe did so many times on film. Love it. So I spoke earlier in the prospect profile about just how versatile of a defender Taaffe is. He can play in single high looks as a free safety or in split safety looks, down in the box, out of the slot as a nickel. You can send him as a blitzer. The list goes on. It's one thing to be put in those positions, but it's another to produce when you're constantly shifted around like a chess piece. And Taaffe definitely delivered for Texas on multiple occasions from a variety of different defensive positions. So, first of all, I love what he does. And I love this look from Ohio State here. What they're going to do is they're in the nickel with Taaffe on the perch and post snap, they're going to invert into a cover 2 look, and they're going to drop the other 2 safeties that are just below Taaffe, and he's going to crash down at the box. And wouldn't you know it, it's going to work out splendidly for him as the run is going to go up the A gap, and that's exactly where his path is leading to in the big run stop as soon as the ball is snapped. But once again, too, Taaffe makes no mistake about it when it comes to wrapping up the ball carrier, putting the play to bed. But again, the different looks you can use him out of and you can rely on him to perform out of, you love to see it. So in this play against Texas A&M from 2025, Taaffe is going to show off some coverage chops against tight ends. He's going to creep down in the box right here, slot right there, and the tight end 17 is going to chip and release on a flat route that Taaffe is going to read the whole way. There's going to be a ton of space to that side because the receiver at the top of your screen is going to run like a C route, C corner route. He's going to clear out that side to the middle of his route stem, taking the defenders to the middle of the field. Once more, Taaffe is going to be as dependable as an umbrella on a rainy day. He's going to stop the tight end dead in space. These are the plays you love to see when you can make plays in the pass game against the run out of so many different looks and in different sub packages. The sky is the limit for what you're going to be able to do. So I love what we saw there. Listen, overall, I think the Dolphins got excellent value with Michael Taaffe in the 5th round. He's never going to wow you with elite athleticism or be a true single high eraser, but that's not the role he projects best to fit into anyways. Taaffe is at his best in zone-heavy split safety defenses where his instincts, anticipation, communication, football IQ can allow him to consistently play faster than he tests. Long-term, I could see Taaffe developing into like a dependable third safety who rotates throughout the secondary, becoming a coach and fan favorite because of his reliability, leadership, and high character. Players with those traits often do outperform their draft position, and hopefully Michael Taaffe is no exception. The real question heading into 2026 is this: did the Dolphins draft Michael Taaffe to be an impactful piece of their secondary, or is this the first step towards pursuing another Longhorn, Taaffe's best friend, Arch Manning? Manning, who attended the draft party when Miami selected Michael Taaffe, is widely expected to enter next year's draft and be the number one pick. And a lot of people expect the Dolphins to have the number one pick. Well, time will only tell. But I'll tell you one thing. From watching the film and understanding the regime in Miami early on, they got expectations for Michael Taaffe to be much more than the best friend of a quarterback. They expect him to be a quarterback's worst nightmare. Listen, do me the favor. I need you to go check out the sponsor of the video. And that sponsor, of course, is Prize Picks. And listen, no matter what sport you're watching, there's no better way to make the action more exciting than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks is daily fantasy made simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections, build lineups in a few taps, whether it's football when it comes back, baseball, any sport you're into. Prize Picks gives you a fun way to stay locked in on every play while you're watching. And best of all, play your first $5 lineup and get $150 in lineups if you win. Just use code HMA when you sign up. That's right, Prize Picks switched up their offer, so there's no better time to join. Lock in and win with that first lineup. And I'm telling you right now, baseball, strikeouts, RBIs, home runs. How do you see it going? Stolen bases, daily fantasy through baseball could be the most exciting time with Prize Picks. So download the app today. Use code HMA at sign up to get $150 in bonus lineups if you win with their first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Link is in the description below. As always, play responsibly. And again, shout out to Prize Picks and shout out to all of you. Please do me the favor. It takes 2 seconds every day. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. It goes a long way. Training camp begins this week. Let's go. And I will catch y'all on the next one. Till then, you don't know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day.